Yep, here he comes. Riding his trusted steed through the Sierra foothills as he brings you the news.
Oh yeah! Oh yeah!
He calls himself
Charlie!
What you doing, Charlie?
Sorry, Charlie.
Hi, Charlie. There you are. Look how cute you are. Yeah!
Hey, Charlie, what's with the dark glasses?
And now, here he is, a man of God, living in a world of Disney.
Ow! Charlie!
Charlie Simons.
Charlie bit me.
I was really glad to get to talk to Janelle Proctor. She was fantastic. I really enjoyed that. Thank you, Rudy Rosselli, who's also running for office. Rudy4USCongress.com. And yes, the word FOR. Rudy4USCongress.com. He's my friend, and he's running for office. He's another one. Great man. Military service, almost 3 decades. Retired as a major U.S. Army. Then got a cush gig with the USDA. Worked there for almost 8 years. Quit that job to run for office. That's how dedicated people like him, Janelle Proctor, so many, Anthony Trimino, so many others who've never run for office, and they've just said, that's it. I've freaking had enough. Somebody's got to do something, and it might as well be me. And I notice a lot of these people doing this are my military folks, the people that I respect and admire, especially now. It's all volunteer service now. There's no more draft. It used to be, yo, what branch did you serve in? It was just automatically assumed everybody served, but then Jimmy Carter canceled the draft. Never had it since then. And frankly, I think we're a worse country for it. Seriously. When I was on the radio, before I got unceremoniously dumped this week for having Anthony Trimino on as a guest, as a matter of fact, on my radio show in the afternoon, and I was told I couldn't have any political candidates on unless they bought advertising. And he had committed to buying advertising verbally to me. And he's an honorable man. I don't know if he actually even followed through and did it this week after he found out that I was fired because I had him on. I doubt it. I don't know. I don't listen to the station. But I started doing something. I brought it back, and I'm so glad I did, because I started doing Freedom Fridays when I worked at a country station in Sacramento called The Wolf, 101.9 FM. Don't worry, looking it up, doesn't even exist anymore. It went Spanish, like just about everything in California. Well, you know what? All those illegals need something to listen to. Anyway, I started doing this thing called Freedom Friday, and I would honor a Medal of Honor recipient by bringing them back to life, at least for a few minutes, telling the story of how they received the Medal of Honor, what they did. It's powerful to me, but then I'm a military guy, come from a military family. It's important to me. So I hope you'll enjoy it, because every Friday on this show here, on this channel, on this page, Charlie Simons presents Do Not Talk. I'm going to be doing the same thing, Freedom Friday. And I'm going to pick it up where I left off when I was on that radio station. I'd been doing it for 19 weeks. I was on the station for a year. Frankly, I should have started it when I first started at the station, but I was new and I didn't know what they would let me get away with. And obviously not a lot, because I did get fired. But I would like to do that now, and I'm going to bring it back, and I'm going to pick it up where I left off on the radio station with Freedom Friday number 20. I like that music. Perfect. My producer, by the way, Kirk Tuchon. I just call him Captain Kirk. He's out of Colorado, so we're not even in the same state, but he's just done such an extraordinary job, and I want to publicly thank him right now for making this happen. Kirk, you're the reason why this happened. You're the one that made this happen. You're the one that encouraged me. I don't have a lot of money. I'm a cowboy, lives on a ranch in Northern California. I don't have a lot of money. I got an old pickup truck that, thank God, just keeps on running. Cost me about $125 to fill up now, by the way. Kirk's not charging me anything for doing this. That's an admirable human being right there. Now, it's in the hopes that, yeah, this will catch traction. You'll share this. You'll appreciate this. You'll start tuning in every day. We'll get clicks. We'll get likes. Then you get paid through sponsors. I've never done this before. I have no idea what I'm doing. So, Kirk, I thank the Lord for you. In the name of Christ Jesus, I thank the Lord for you. Okay, sorry. Back to Freedom Friday, number 20. I want to share with you what Thomas Eugene Atkins did. All of his comrades in arms, all of his fellow soldiers in the U.S. Army called him Gene. Gene Atkins was a private first class, which means he was fairly new. You have 3 levels of private, then private second class, then private first class. And the next step from there is either specialist or corporal, and then up to, you just go on from there. If you want to be non-commissioned officer, you go the sergeant route. If you want to be an officer, it's a lot more training, a lot more classroom stuff. That's why sergeants say, don't call me sir, because I work for a living. So just know that. I don't know which direction Gene was planning on going. We'll find out together. This is during the Second World War. Truly the greatest generation this country's ever known. His unit command, Company A, 127th Infantry, 32nd Infantry Division. In other words, he was a rifle carrier. He was on the front lines. He was the one charging in. That's what they were trained to do. And in the U.S. Army, KUA. Medal of Honor action date was March 10th, 1945. And the place, Villa Verde Trail, Luzon, Philippine Islands. Remember, Japan was desperately trying to take over the Philippines. Here's how he received his citation. PFC Thomas Gene Atkins fought gallantly on the Villa Verde Trail, Luzon, Philippine Islands. With 2 companions, he occupied a position on a ridge outside the perimeter defense established by the 1st Platoon on a high hill. At about 0300 hours, 3 o'clock in the morning, 2 companies of Japanese attacked with rifle and machine gun fire, grenades, TNT charges, and landmines, severely wounding PFC Atkins and killing his 2 companions. He occupied this position on this ridge. Now, one of them was probably keeping lookout, and it doesn't say if it was him. But most likely they were asleep when this happened. 3 in the morning. Killed 2 of his companions. He's severely wounded. Despite the intense hostile fire and pain from his deep wound, he held his ground and returned heavy fire. After the attack was repulsed by him alone, he remained in his precarious position to repel any subsequent assaults instead of returning to the American lines for medical treatment. An enemy machine gun set up within 20 yards of his foxhole vainly attempted to drive him off or silence his gun. The Japanese repeatedly made fierce attacks because they didn't know how many were in this foxhole. Otherwise, if they would have known it was just him, they would have overrun him and that would have been it. They didn't know. The Japanese repeatedly made fierce attacks. But after 4 hours, Private First Class Atkins determinedly remained in his foxhole, bearing the brunt of each assault and maintaining steady and accurate fire until each charge was repulsed. Remember, this is in the morning. This is in the dark. Who knows how dark it was there? I don't know what the topography is or anything of the particulars. But this had gone on for hours. Finally, 0700 hours, 7 a.m., 13 dead enemy lay in front of his position. They almost got to him. Remember, he probably didn't even know. He's just firing at sounds at this point. He had fired 400 rounds. All he and his 2 dead companions possessed. He had 3 rifles until each had jammed too badly for further operation. That would be scary as hell. Can you imagine? Put yourself in that spot. You've gone through your rifle, your ammo, your dead soldier friend. If they're in the same unit, they definitely trained together. He's mourning that loss of both of his friends, both of his fellow soldiers, fallen comrades. And he's used up their rifles and their ammo as well. Now, if they had not been struck by that and his 2 now who knows how severely wounded? It doesn't describe how severely wounded he was. He may be bleeding out while this is happening. Obviously not that bad, because otherwise he wouldn't have lasted all those hours. So let's pick it up from there. He had used 3 rifles until each had jammed too badly for further operation. He withdrew during a lull to secure a rifle and more ammunition and was persuaded to remain for medical treatment. He literally, interesting. Follow this now. It's 7 in the morning. 13 dead enemy laying in front of his position. He fired all those rounds. Then there was a lull to secure, and he left to secure a rifle and more ammo and was going to go back. But they persuaded him to remain for medical treatment. While waiting, he saw a Japanese within the perimeter, and seizing a nearby rifle killed him while he's getting medical treatment. This dude's like out of a movie, man. Hey, Hollywood, why don't you start making films about these kind of heroes like you used to? John Wayne, Robert Mitchum, all those studs were alive. Killed him while he's getting medical treatment. A few minutes later, while lying on a litter, he discovered an enemy group moving up behind the platoon's lines. Despite his severe wounds, he sat up, delivered heavy rifle fire against the group, and forced them to withdraw. One dude on a cot. What the hell? This guy's amazing. PFC Atkins' superb bravery and his fearless determination to hold his post against the main force of repeated enemy attacks, even though painfully wounded, were major factors in enabling his comrades to maintain their lines against a numerically superior enemy force. You want to see what PFC Thomas Gene Atkins looks like? There he is. Guy's a stud, man. Stud. He was born in Campobello, in the town of Campobello in Spartanburg County, South Carolina. He survived this. The presentation date and details of the Medal of Honor was October 12th, 1945, at the White House, presented by then President Harry S. Truman. Can you imagine that moment? He was in his full dress uniform, man. His family was there. Those who were left from his unit most likely were there. His commanding officers, his NCOICs. They were probably all there too. Can you imagine that moment? They don't describe what the wound was anywhere in this. Maybe he was walking with a limp. I don't know. They don't get into the details. He was born 1921, February 5th, in Campobello, Spartanburg County, South Carolina. He died September 15th, 1999, in a town called Inman, South Carolina. He's buried at the Fellowship Baptist Church Cemetery in Inman, South Carolina, United States of America. Man, I would love to have met him. What a stud. Thank you for joining me for my very first show here. Charlie Simons presents Do Not Talk, where I will talk about the two things you're never supposed to talk about: politics, religion. So if you can join me here, I sure would appreciate it. Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. And thanks again to my producer, Kirk Tuchon, who I call Captain Kirk, for making this all happen. And may God bless America. But even more importantly, may America bless God. Thank all 22 million of you for watching. See you Monday.